Disney and Nintendo work together?
What?
Oh, that looks fun. Generic intro into that goes me. Here back with another Scott the Woz reaction. Today we're doing Nintendo Before Video Games by Scott the Woz. I believe the last video was about Club Nintendo, which I didn't know was a thing. I'm very uncultured. I'm not very familiar with Nintendo and their things as I guess I grew up or whatever. Like when I was a little kid, I had a couple Nintendo things here or there, but the longest time I have not had anything Nintendo related. I've never played Mario outside of Mario Kart, but you can check my reaction to the Club Nintendo video. I'll leave it right up there, also link down below in the description, and maybe I'll do a Scott the Woz playlist because I do really enjoy these and you all seem to really enjoy them as well. I learned a lot about video games that I did not know before. I want to say Nintendo made like playing cards or something like that, or they were a toy company that made playing cards as well, and I think they also did a couple of other things, like they had hotels or something. I'm not really sure. I think that was a video I saw by, oh, what is his name? Is it Ryan Kelly? Yeah, it's Ryan Kelly. He makes hilarious stuff. But shout out to patrons. They got a video day early. Could not do this if it was not for them. $3 a month gets you all my reaction videos day early. It's like 16 videos a week for $3 a month, and it goes so far in supporting the channel. I could not do this if it was not for them. So shout out to the patrons, and I also read all your comments, whether you're a patron or not, whether you're subscribed or not. We just hit 93,000 subscribers, so we're less than 7,000 from 100,000, which is a mind-boggling number. But let's go ahead and jump to Nintendo Before Video Games. All right.
Hey y'all, Scott here, and it's amazing to think that a company established all the way back in 1889 made
1889? I don't know what that is.
Whoops.
Whoops. Oh no. Oh.
Being one of the three major video game companies, it's a bit odd that Nintendo is the only one of them that is strictly a video game company. They don't make computers, televisions, phones, none of that. Just video games. The thing is, it wasn't
did it not
like
make anything?
Nintendo was originally established on September 23rd, 1889, over 125 years ago, which implies they haven't always made, you know, video games. The easiest way to describe Nintendo before video games would be a toy company. Yikes! I've never covered the toy industry before, so to get a good idea of what we're dealing with here, I'm gonna go to Five Below and grab a toy for reference.
Okay.
In terms of toys, it's an inflatable gator kind of day. Cashier said it was the first inflatable gator sale of the day strictly for reference material. Originally named Nintendo Koppai, the company originated out of Kyoto and was founded by Fusahiro Yamauchi. The company's original objective? To produce and sell handcrafted Hanafuda cards. These are Hanafuda cards made by Nintendo. This deck specifically is called the Daitorio cards and features Napoleon on the case here. Daitorio translates to president, and Napoleon was an emperor, something just refuses to add up here. This is just one of the few decks Nintendo still produces, and yeah, Nintendo still puts out Hanafuda cards, some even featuring Mario characters on them. These new decks can be scooped up for around 20 bones or so, but if you want some original vintage Nintendo Hanafuda cards, well, be prepared to spend.
If they're that old, that doesn't feel that
A hard plastic case holds the cards, and opening this, we have a silver package containing the deck. Opening that up, let's take a look at the cards themselves, and my god, these are a thing of beauty. Hanafuda cards translates to flower cards, which is fitting. These cards are very much focused on
I feel like you can put them all together and make a big
one has wonderful art displayed here, specifically nature-oriented. They're all incredibly tiny and are made out of hard plastic. No numbers on them like standard playing cards. The use of numbers in playing card games are replaced with art in Hanafuda-based games. This was due to gambling being banned in Japan, as it was a major problem associated with playing cards. Since Hanafuda focused on art instead of numbers, gambling wasn't as easily associated with it, although there were workarounds like assigning numbers to specific cards. Hanafuda can be used for all different kinds of card games, none of which I have the slightest clue on how to play. Nintendo Koppai was basically the cream of the crop when it came to Hanafuda cards for years, and was basically all the company did for the first few decades of its existence. In 1933, Fusahiro stepped down and his adopted son-in-law Sekiro Yamauchi took over as president, renaming the company after an unlimited partnership, Yamauchi Nintendo and Company. In 1947, Sekiro creates a distribution company, Marafuku Company Limited, to help distribute the cards. After suffering a stroke, Sekiro's heir was to be his adopted son-in-law, Shikanoho Yamauchi, but since he abandoned his family, bring in Hiroshi Yamauchi, Shikanoho's son and the longest-standing Nintendo president, holding office from 1949 to 2002. So Nintendo was a family business, but not ran the company for over 50 years. Since the first two presidents did not have sons, they had to settle for their son-in-laws, and in the second president's case, his grandson-in-law. Hiroshi Yamauchi was the first president of Nintendo to really start taking risks and do new things, like renaming the company to the Nintendo Playing Card Company. Hiroshi started to see that playing cards could only get the company so far, especially considering that they were primarily associated with gambling, meaning the market for them was a bit limited. They didn't have wide appeal. That was until 1959 when the Nintendo Playing Card Company and Disney partnered up to pop Disney characters on Nintendo-made cards.
Disney and Nintendo worked together?
This was a turning point for
Before
Nintendo.
Mario.com?
This venture helped broaden their playing cards appeal and bring in families and children. This was not only a huge success, but the first instance in which Nintendo garnered an audience of families and children, a market Nintendo would cater to basically for the rest of its existence.
Yeah.
Hiroshi changed the company's name one last time from Nintendo Playing Card Company to simply Nintendo, as he was ready to experiment in other industries with the copious amounts of cash they got from the Disney card success. Like I said, Hiroshi Yamauchi, who I'll just refer to as Yamauchi from now on, wanted to expand beyond cards, and these expansions included taxis, food, a vacuum cleaner, and love hotels.
Yep,
hotels specifically for quick, sexy in-and-outs.
Brian Kelly.
Nintendo ran sex hotels. The mere fact would make any smug uncle say, "Well, there goes the neighborhood." All of these products and services failed. Hard. With the card industry at a low and their other business ventures flopping, Nintendo was in bad shape in the early 60s, borderline bankrupt. It's not like nowadays when Nintendo reports a loss in a quarter, like they have billions just sitting there, they're fine.
Yeah.
No, this was 1960s Nintendo. Definitely not a company that could afford a loss. But their experience with playing cards and the Disney venture gave them experience in the games and children's entertainment industry. So they gave toys a spin.
They got experience
They dabbled in the market with things like board games and whatnot, some featuring licenses from Disney, Popeye, and Ultraman. But it truly starts when one of the most integral employees that ever worked at Nintendo came into the picture. Gunpei Yokoi. Everybody talks about Shigeru Miyamoto, Eiji Aonuma, Koji Kondo, Satoru Iwata, and
I've heard some of these names, yeah.
But the late Gunpei Yokoi basically crafted the Nintendo everybody fell in love with. A Nintendo that was full of creativity and fun. It wouldn't be this way without Yokoi. He was originally just a lower-level maintenance employee at Nintendo.
And he worked his way up probably? Which is,
Yokoi
you love to hear
invented a grabber device and was fiddling around with it at work one day. Yamauchi noticed and was impressed. The item was mass-produced for the Christmas season in 1966 under the name Ultra Hand. You could extend the arm and grab items like the balls with stands that it came with. The product was a huge hit and thus officially catapulted Nintendo into the toy industry.
You know,
and from here on out, the vast
it's like
majority
giving
of this
a guy
info
a shovel
was
at the
from
beach.
Before Mario.com, a crazy cool website dedicated to this era of Nintendo, the toy era.
Obviously before
Incredibly
Mario.
high-quality pictures and descriptions
There's
of the
one thing
toys
Mario,
they
they're like,
released.
yep, that's all we're doing.
Check it out if you're into that sort of thing. Nintendo as a toy company was the first instance of that classic Nintendo creativity shining through. Looking at a lot of these products, they're insanely cool for the late 60s, early 70s. I think if released nowadays, they'd still be really cool. They generally take a very simple concept and turn it into an incredibly fun little toy. Take, for example, the Ultra Machine. Didn't think I'd have an actual vintage Nintendo toy, did ya?
Really?
Please, never doubt me.
The Ultra Machine.
Please. Yeah, I only recently got this, and it's already one of my favorite Nintendo-related things I own. It's a pitching machine, comes with a hearty supply of balls and a plastic bat with a classy Nintendo logo on it. It's really cool, and it works far better than I think anybody would ever expect it to. This toy also marked the first time a logo similar to the iconic one we see today was used. There were a few other variants on the Ultra Machine, but I believe this was the first edition from 1967.
It's so
the
low!
sheer variety of toys released during this period is staggering. Everything from a love tester to an early version of Duck Hunt. Yeah.
Oh, Duck Hunt.
Duck Hunt.
Don't hunt me, please.
Ducks onto a wall and you'd shoot them with a light gun. That's insane.
What?
There's the Punch Boy,
what year was
mixing
that?
exercise and fun into one toy. A Magic Set, a tabletop game called Wild Gunman, which would later be turned into an NES game, where you and an opponent just start slinging bullets at each other.
Wait, like really?
Which again was turned into an NES game where you can shoot out a car from a launch pad. The Space Ball, which flung these top things wherever you pleased.
And
the Power Lift,
what?
the remote-controlled forklift. Time Shock, which is like the game Perfection, where you have to put all these pieces into the right spaces before time runs out. They also made toy guns, which sounds fun. Holy shit. I don't know about you guys, but I can definitely see Nintendo in a lot of these toys. Not all of them are home runs by any means, but a lot of them you can see that Nintendo charm within them. Yokoi didn't work on all toys, but was a key factor in a good chunk of them, but wanted to try his hand at video games and came out with the Game & Watch.
He mentioned that.
Nintendo as a whole started to work on video games with the release of the Color TV game series of Pong consoles in the mid to late 70s. And thus, with the venture into arcades and their own home video game console, the toy era of Nintendo ended, and from there on out, they have primarily been a video game company. However, they still do throw in a fair amount of winks and nods to their past. Super Mario Maker features this bird design on their Hanafuda cards. Pikmin 3's main character's planet is named Kopai, which hails from the company's first name, Nintendo Kopai. Ultra Hand got a downloadable game on the Wii entitled Grill Off with Ultra Hand, and the portrait of Napoleon from the Daitorio Hanafuda cards that can be found in Nintendo Labo's house game. I love seeing them reference this kind of stuff, and I love
they could do a lot more. They have a very rich history.
It's crazy to think the same company that gave us Animal Crossing gave us a chance to score some quick Nintendo's reign as a card, toy, and sex factory was fun while it lasted, but it's pretty nice with them as a video game company at the moment. It also seems that they never had any desire to get into the inflatable gator business, so if you excuse me, I'm going to part with this humanely.
Okay, well. Croc flies out the way of the neighborhood officially.
Neighborhood's going to shit.
That's the end of the video. God, these videos are so short. The first E3, 1995. E3 is older than me. Well, E3 is no longer, actually, technically. This is Nintendo before video games. This was like the most liked comment on the last video, which was Club Nintendo. I loved watching that video and learning about Nintendo. I learned a lot about, every single time I watched a Scott the Woz video, I learned something new, like something like mind-blowing, like how did I not know this? So I do enjoy these. This video is quite older. I know his current videos that he uploads are like an hour long, and that's just crazy for me to do for a video. But let me know what the next Scott the Woz video. Apparently there's like a story and plot to some of these and stuff like that. So please let me know what the next video should be. I'll be doing it based off the most liked comments, so definitely like a comment that you agree with. And I hope you have a wonderful rest today, and hopefully I made just a tiny little bit better. Be on the lookout for the next video. Hope you subscribe button until the next video. Take care. Cue the music.
We were playing